Pope on priest killing. The world is at war, but it's not a religious one. Pope Francis said Wednesday that the world is at war as he addressed the slaying of a Catholic priest by radical Islamists in France, but he stressed it was not a war of religion. Speaking on the papal plane en route to Krakow, Poland, for World Youth Day celebrations, Francis said the world had been in a piecemeal war for some time. He said Tuesday's killing of the Ref. Jacques Hamel, 86, in St. Étienne du Rouvray, France, was one casualty in this conflict. The world is at war because it has lost peace, he said. There is a war of interest. There is a war for money, the war for natural resources, the war to dominate people, he continued. Read more. Some might think it is war of religion. It is not. All religions want peace. Others want war. Security services stretched the killing of the priest by two attackers who struck in the name of ISIS is the latest terror atrocity to royal Europe in recent weeks. In France, it has fueled public anger and raised questions about the government's ability to respond to the domestic jihadist threat. The priest was killed when the attackers stabbed him in the chest and slit his throat, officials said. They also seriously wounded a churchgoer. Why France attacked his latest assault by ISIS to spur new war of religion. So the attacker, Adel Kermach, 19, had been flagged as a radicalized Islamist. Kermach was under house arrest and was forced to wear an electronic monitoring tag after he traveled abroad to try to fight in Syria, Paris prosecutor François Molins said. Under the conditions of his house arrest, he was allowed out of his parents' home, not far from the church, for 4 hours each day, the window he used to carry out the attack. The attackers carried bladed weapons. One wore a fake explosive belt, while the other carried a kitchen timer and fake bomb, Molins said. Security forces killed them as they left the church, he said. Kermach was identified by his fingerprints, while the other attacker has not been named. The priest's killing came as France is still grappling with the Bastille Day terror attack that left 84 people dead in Nice. French authorities have struggled to monitor thousands of domestic Islamic radicals who, like Kermach, are on a list used to flag radicalized individuals considered a threat to national security. Opinion: why terrorist attacks? Religious leaders condemn killing. French President François Hollande met with religious leaders Tuesday as a government spokesman vowed the Republic would respond with unity to the ISIS threat, which has led to a state of emergency being in place since the Paris terror attacks in November. It is with the weapons of the Republic that we will fight and protect, government spokesman Stephen Le Fall said. Number signed error timeline width 100% max width 930 px margin 0 auto 30 px border none display block. Speaking after the meeting with Hollande at the Élysée Palace, Dalil Boubacar, rector of the Grand Mosque of Paris, expressed deep grief on behalf of France's Muslims at the attack. He said the killing of a priest, who is respected and protected to the letter in our religion, was a deed outside of Islam, a deed that all Muslims of France condemn and reject in the most definitive way. security measures boosted. French government said it will mobilize police and military forces to boost security in the wake of the attack. Speaking at a press conference, French Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve said that 23,500 police and military officers, including reserves, would be mobilized to ensure the safe running of 56 public events scheduled for the rest of the summer. The events may be called off if the government determines that security arrangements are inadequate, he said. Cazeneuve said France's reservist forces would be boosted. He said 2,500 people had expressed interest in joining the reserves since he called on youths to sign up in the wake of the Bastille Day attack in Nice. Lawmaker Marion-Maréchal Le Pen, 26, tweeted she had decided to join the military reserves in response to the threat and invited all young patriots to do the same. Maréchal Le Pen is a member of the French Parliament from the far-right National Front Party and also the niece of the party's president, Marine Le Pen. Just what she'd remembering the ref. Jacques Hamel replay your videos. Must watch Remembering the Ref. Jacques Hamel 01:26 Cazeneuve said that information sharing between security services needed to be improved and that the response to the threat needed to remain within a law. Only in this way can we win the war against terror, he said. Caen Mayor David Lisnard announced the French Riviera city had passed a bylaw banning people from carrying suitcases and large luggage that could be used to conceal bombs on public transport or along the beachfront until the end of October. The priest's killing follows a string of violent attacks in France and neighboring Germany in recent weeks, some claimed by the Sunnite terror group ISIS. The ref. Jacques Hamel, 86, was slain Tuesday in Street Étienne du Rouvray. Holland said Tuesday that the attackers acted in the name of ISIS, and the ISIS-linked news agency AMAC released a statement, posted by the group's supporters, claiming the Normandy attackers were the terror outfit's soldiers. CNN cannot independently confirm the claim, and no evidence has surfaced showing ISIS had been in direct contact with the attackers. Attacker was known radical according to a French intelligence source. Kermit tried to enter Syria twice after becoming radicalized following the 2015 Charlie Hebdo attack in Paris. The attacker was associated with Maxime Hochard, a French jihadi who appeared in an ISIS beheading video in 2014, the source said. Police officers stand guard Wednesday at the Catholic church where the priest was slain. Mollens said Kermit attempted to leave the country twice for Syria in 2015. He was placed under judicial control in March 2015 after trying to use his brother's identification to go to Syria. 2 months later he left the country for Syria using a cousin's identification card. Authorities in Turkey stopped Kermit and deported him to France via Switzerland, from where he had entered Turkey. He was detained until March 18 when he was released under house arrest with an electronic monitoring tag. An appeals court upheld the terms of his release, which required him to live with his family under house arrest and sign in once a week at a local police station.